Here we are again. Another episode.
Another one.
Another one. Welcome back. Appreciate everyone here just kind of hanging out with us. There's actually going to be some cool stuff coming out. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. My name is Allan, if you guys don't already know. I am the center supervisor at Workforce Solutions Data Point here near the Medical Center in San Antonio, Texas.
And I'm Victor Givens. I'm the Youth Empowerment Services Lead for the urban area. So 5 centers.
Nice to have you back, man.
Nice to have you as well.
It's good to come here and chat for a little bit while we're doing some work stuff. And we actually have a guest today. Our first guest, highly recommended from our business services team. It's Renhill Staffing.
Yes, and we have Pat Hernandez from Renhill Staffing.
Right.
We're glad to have you here, Pat. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's exciting to know that I'm your first guest. Great.
We're gonna do our best. We're gonna do our best to make this real seamless, real casual, real fun. But we want to get to know you. We want to get to know about Renhill and what you do there and what Renhill does in the general population and stuff like that. Just for everyone who may not be super familiar, I know that we work with you closely. I know that you were highly recommended by Steve, who I think is your point of contact here at Workforce. He was real excited. We'll have him on at some point. We'll have him come chat with us for a good 30 minutes or so about what he does. But I know that he already had a list of names and you guys were right on top. So I'm really happy to be chatting with y'all. Now, one of the first things I want to go ahead and bring up, which is something that I tend to struggle with a lot, is the word staffing agency. So can you go ahead and just chat with me through what that word means to y'all compared to any other normal business that would be hiring people that we work with?
Well, there are different kind of agencies. You have your, what's considered day laborers. You have agencies that will take in people that same day, that morning. They're waiting at their office and take them or sometimes even bus them out to different job assignments. We, as a staffing agency, what we do, we actually work with clients that are looking for more people that are wanting to work 40-hour weeks, and we pay them and we payroll them as, 40-hour a week temps. And we look for temp to hire, which is our goal, is to make sure that we help, temps find something more in a longer term. They're not trying to come in and get something real quick, a quick fix for employment. They're looking for something a little more serious, skilled, because that's what we do, a lot of light industrial and skilled. So, the pay may not be initially where they would like to start, but it's a start. But they, for the most time, would be guaranteed something long-term, 40-hour a week, that would potentially lead up to a full-time position with our clients. And we've been very fortunate as far as our agency that we've been able to stay open throughout this whole, COVID pandemic going on. Because we have clients that are, essential. They are essential, considered essential. So we do have a lot of clients that currently are in desperate need. And right now we are in desperate need of temps, candidates, that are looking, to find something 40 hours a week. And it's like I tell them, I know that it's kind of hard, especially right now with people losing their work, long-term jobs that they've had maybe at a higher pay rate. But it's something that we can get them into as a temporary thing to get some kind of a source of income that will guarantee 40 hours a week. And it could lead up to something full-time that they may not initially look into that kind of a work skill, maybe take them a different direction. Yeah. But it could lead up into a really good partnership with our client and our temp.
So you guys are like the diving board. I mean, you guys are like the first step before they go jumping into full-time employment. This is like the teaser a little bit. They jump into 40 hours. They're working through the system part-time.
Correct.
And then it
kind of sounds like you guys are give them careers instead of just quick dollars.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we have to find skilled people, forklift operators, people that have order selecting experience, sheet metal fabricaters, welders, that kind of thing. I mean, they may be struggling. A lot of stuff has to do with background issues, don't get me wrong, but if they can prove to our client that they are able and willing to show up for work, be there on time. They're looking for people that want to work. And
For
if you can prove to them that you are that person, that you are that candidate, they're willing to give anybody a chance.
Got it.
When they go and apply directly, sometimes that could be their, where they're stuck to get their foot in the door kind of thing. So we're that for them. We're kind of like that buffer, you know, you get them in there, you know, to kind of give them the little, you know, little push, you know, through with the client that they may need to get their foot in the door.
Perfect.
You know, and I love doing that. That's my goal. I love helping out people, especially when they come to you as a temp. You know, sometimes we are that last resort to trying to help them employment, and then when we help them with that, they come and they thank you. That's what you look forward to. You know, at the end of the day, it's like, oh, Pat, thank you, or mother recruiters, thank you for going out of your way to help out. So
I think that's something we share a lot. Is that we feel a lot of that gratification when it comes to workforce, and it's always good. You don't always find employers, at least from my experience, you don't always find employers that appreciate the employees like that. Right. But I can see why you're so highly recommended, because you share a lot of that same like sentiment for the people we help out. That passion.
Pure passion.
Yes. And that's one thing I always tell my recruiters. That's the one thing, the first thing that I look into when I bring on a recruiter is that we don't know what they're going through when they come in through that door. We need to be open to that. Who's to know if we are that one person that will make a difference in that person's life for that day, you know, just as long as we treat them right. That's my thing. Customer service would be the best thing that you can do for anyone.
For sure.
So Pat, you did mention COVID-19. You know, that's something that's affecting everyone worldwide. Has it affected your day-to-day operations? And going forward, what steps you're all taking if you do reopen?
Well, surprisingly, not so much so. I mean, our phones are still ringing. You know, we've been very fortunate on that, of course, because they have questions. You know, we have implemented, as far as like coming in with the mask, we used to have, you know, our front used to be loaded with people. Now it's only 2 or 3 at a time that we'll take in, you know, and then there's an application room where we divide them. And we have two will go into the app, and then we have another 2 that are waiting to go in, and then they'll also get screened by a recruiter. Of course, we're wearing masks. I mean, it's protected, everything's clean. Now we do have the option of them coming in, but also we do offer a link that we also can provide. If they were to call, we get an email, send the link, and they can go ahead and apply online. And all they would have to do is send us a copy of their ID and their social. And then a recruiter would follow up with them and complete the interview process with them directly over the phone. So I know a lot of people worry and, you know, about the contact. I mean, it's because we're a really small office, you know what I mean? And we try to keep the traffic at a minimal, but the phones, I mean, that to me, I was like, as long as I have those phones ringing and be able to service them and be able to still communicate and send the link and get people to apply that way, that would be another way of us doing it.
Perfect. Okay. So no real effect, no real change. Everything, some stuff has gone a little bit virtual, it seems like for y'all, or a little bit, you know, not face to face and stuff like that. So we gotten to know a little bit about Renhill. We'll circle back around to Renhill, of course. But
I want to know about you, Pat.
Yeah, I'm also interested about you.
How did you get involved in Renhill?
You were strong. You got the passion for it, but like, what? Brag to us a little bit. Like, who is Pat Hernandez?
Well, honestly, I came into staffing, it was completely by accident, because what my experience before that, prior to that, was in mortgage. I did loan processing for almost 13 years. Loved it, enjoyed it while I did it. But a friend of mine,
Antonio, or
here in San Antonio, yes.
Okay. San Antonio native?
I'm sorry. Oh yeah, born and raised.
Nice. What high school? What high school, Pat?
So I'm very familiar. The thing is, the reason why, why I did the whole mortgage thing, and a friend of mine told me that, you know, staffing was something that she felt that I'd be good because of my customer service, my personality, you know. So I'm like, you know what, why not? Let me go ahead and give it a shot. So I came and applied, and I found that this was actually my true passion, because I love mortgage, don't get me wrong, but you're dealing with a whole different set of clientele, you know, as far as with the mortgage. I mean, you're dealing with, but coming here and I don't know if I should say this, but I like talking to my raza people, you know, and working with them and, you know, helping them, because I mean, you just have to go down and be like, hey, what's up, you know, and I don't have a problem with that. You know, I think that's the reason too. I've had so much luck with my temps when I was a full-time recruiter, because right now I am what they call a lead recruiter, right? Okay. jumped to that now. So I've got a responsibility of my team, making sure that, they all work, the same, my same ethics, I put them in with my team, making sure that they're looking out for the temps' well-being, and that they respect everyone same way as when they come in through that door. But I've been doing it now for 6 years here at Renhill. So, and I've loved it so far. I've been here, and I think they try and get rid of me sometimes, but I won't leave. I just love my job.
If we're gonna keep chatting with you like this, there's no way. There's no way. You got that energy. You got that excitement.
So you said you're from San Antonio. What high school, Pat? What high school are you repping?
Well, I don't know why, but people's like, oh, you don't look, but Lanier. I went to Lanier High School.
Lanier, okay.
Lanier.
Nice.
What does that mean?
Lanier means that Pat is a great person and she's helping people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you go again?
I went to I don't think I should say this, but I went to Alamo Heights.
Whoa.
No. Okay.
No, it wasn't like that.
No, not even.
That's between y'all. I'm out of the city.
Where did you, or were you raised here locally or no?
I was raised in Austin my whole life, which make it a worse rap than Alamo Heights over here. But
there's no competition. We're all in San Antonio for a reason now.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
so we understand each other though.
Yeah, for sure. No, I came to San Antonio for workforce, because I did workforce all over the state, and I saw all the good work they do. And I've seen us work with staffing agencies, kind of off to the side though. It was never my thing to work with. And, even when I was looking for a job, I saw staffing agencies hitting me up, and I saw staffing agencies advertised here, and I never fully understood exactly what all that meant. I know that sometimes some people may see staffing agencies and get maybe a little bit of a, like they have a little bit of a stereotype or preconceived thought about staffing agencies.
I thought it was day laborers. That's what I thought.
For sure. Do you guys get some of that? People coming in thinking different things about y'all before you guys even get to like explain to them who you are and what you do?
Well, no, definitely, especially when we put out, because we constantly put ads out on Craig's and different things, and they'll send a resume, and when you respond back, it's like, oh, I didn't know it's a staffing agency. And then, that's when you pick up the phone and I said, let me just kind of explain to you a little bit more in detail. This is a temp to hire position. We're not looking just to, and of course, a lot of the times we're like, how do I know who you are? I said, well, look, here's our information. If you don't feel comfortable, by all means, look us up. We have a website. We have this information. And if you feel comfortable, we can go ahead and talk a little bit more, detail at a later time when you're comfortable. But you do have to, because a lot of the times they're like, well, what do you have for today? I need to get paid today. I said, I'm sorry, sir, we're not that kind of staffing agency. We're looking for people. If I tell them, I'm like, you kind of coach them, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the times they don't really understand the full, concept of staffing. It's like day laborers do this, we are this kind of agency. But if this is what you want and you're looking for, we're definitely a fit for you, and we can definitely help you find something a little more steady. So, but yeah, you do get that a lot.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Because that's definitely, like, I'm not even gonna hide it. That was a lot of like high school and college. I definitely had those thoughts about staffing agencies being like, oh, I'm not trying to go work on a roof in summer in Texas.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, with day laborers you do. I mean, that's pretty much what it is,
but the more and more I get to learn about staffing agencies, and I'm glad you guys are on here, because I've gotten bits and pieces of what staffing agencies actually mean. And now it's a way to kind of connect all that together. One of the things, I know we were talking about San Antonio really quickly. It does say on y'all's website, we did a little bit of snooping, 100% locally owned. So is the leadership also from San Antonio?
Yes. The owners, we have owners here, and they office out of here. They're awesome. They're great bosses. I've never worked with such a great upper management owners. They've all been born and raised here, San Antonio. And they've been around, the original owner, he's still around, and he's been with his company here for 30 years or more. But here at this location, we've been here, I believe, on 11 years here. But everyone's still the same as far as like the owners and the upper team still together, That's what I like about Renhill. We're so close, we're so knit as far as the teamwork and everything. People, when they come and work for Renhill, they stay for quite a few years. I mean, and things always happen, life changes. I mean, that's probably the only reason why they would leave Renhill as far as, actual internal employees. But
For sure.
We've got long-term people that have been here for quite a few years now.
Yeah.
And it's all due because of the ownership. They're great. They're a really nice company to work
See,
for.
that's a good. So how much? Just real quick question: how much work do you guys do outside of San Antonio, or is everything you guys do just in San Antonio?
Well, the bulk of business, of course, is San Antonio, but we do have Florida, Cobden, Illinois, Washington. I mean, we're pretty much all over. I would say maybe what 15%, you know, of our that. I mean, it's not much, but we've grown to where I even have on-sites out there at those locations because I mean we've got volume.
But it's not like y'all are just flying people out across the country.
No.
Yeah, so that's I mean that's
because we have to have people locally there to recruit for our clients. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's times where I have to recruit from here, especially for one of my clients in Florida. I don't know how I do it, but I do it, guys.
You knock it out.
Yeah.
You kill it.
Pat, if you can, Pat, let's say that I'm a customer of yours, right? One, I want to find information. Two, I want to apply and utilize your services. Can you just walk us through how that process works?
Yes, we have a group of sales teams. You know, a really great group of guys. Normally when I take a call, I normally do take the calls when they're interested and they tell me what it is that they're looking for. Of course, I always kind of like to set the expectation from the very beginning. I mean, if it's something that I feel that's a difficult is I explain to them, you know, depending on how fast the turnaround with time would be, what is it they're looking to pay, how many do they need, that kind of thing. I get all that information and I tell them, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get this and pass it along to one of my sales guys. The sales guy then would turn around and get all that figured out. A lot of the times the client would want all the information emailed. So everything, contract, you know, markup, all that pricing that goes into it gets sent directly to the client. Of course, I get CC'd on it because once the work order comes through that they are in fact going to go ahead and run with the client and what their needs are, that's when I jump in. I'm like, okay, team, let's go ahead and get this working. But anyone is always, I mean, random calls that we just get. Hey, I'm looking for a landscaper. Hey, all right, let's go. Let's start. I mean, and for the most part, we're able to turn it around in a day. Wow. Pretty much in a day, as far as the contract and paperwork is concerned.
Let me understand that real quickly. If I show up with y'all and I'm looking for something specific, within a day, I'll get something back?
Well, yeah, as far as paperwork, you're talking about pricing and making sure that it's going to be an agreement, you know, that you have to agree with, of course. And if there's any revisions that you would like to make to the contract or whatnot, you just send it back and let us know what those revisions would be. We will make the corrections and kind of take it from there.
Pat, after this, I may need an application. Just don't tell my boss though.
That is quick. That is lightning fast.
Yeah.
I did not think it was going to be, I'm going to be completely honest, like just looking through y'all stuff, I was like, all right, you know what? You know, I'd be down to sit for 2 or 3 days, wait for something to come back a day.
Yeah.
I can see why Steve's.
It's a very competitive market. You know what I mean? We need to try and get as much or as soon as we can. I mean, there may be some things, don't get me wrong, like credit check and stuff like that. But for the most part, you know, everything's done. And but yeah, once we have the opportunity to get with a client, we need to get on it because I mean they're shopping around. Obviously, if they're calling you, you're probably not the only one they're calling.
For sure.
So we want to make sure that we jump on it and get it taken care of.
We do our best to try and send people to y'all. From what I can tell, what is y'all's experience like with workforce been so far? I know that we, you know, our team that works with y'all, they seem happy to work with y'all here. But like on y'all's end, I'm curious, being a supervisor here, what do y'all get from us? Like good or bad or whatever. Like how is what we send y'all working out? Because I know that I think we refer people to y'all.
Yes, you do. Well, we have one of our sales rep, Brandy, and then I have another what we call a floater, the recruiter that will go out and set up at, you know, whichever location that we're assigned to. And we kind of do a pre-app with them, you know, at that point in time, because to me, it's important that we at least try and put an eye or to see who we're trying to bring in for certain clients, right? You know, because the workforce to me is a little bit more skill. Because, you know, they have more skill, more qualifications, maybe more to what we're looking for as far as like admins, especially in like clericals, because we do have some of that stuff too. And so far we've had very, very good candidates that have come from the work.
Y'all can be honest with me here. I'm pretty new to the system here in San Antonio. I'm open to everything.
No, yeah, no, I mean, it's like with everything else, you're going to have your hit or miss. You know what I mean? It's like, just when we send out, candidates where we're thinking, oh my God, they're bomb, they're great, they're going to do awesome. And they're the ones that, and then the ones you think, probably not, but then they're the ones that turn out to be the great candidates. So, you just kind of have to get lucky.
I like that word, great candidates. So what is that? We were talking about this earlier. Victor and I were sitting out here just like chatting about it.
It just seems like y'all are really well. First of all, your focus is to listen to your clients. So that's on your about the page. That's awesome. But what ways, like how are y'all listening to your clients? Is it just y'all sitting there talking and then telling you what you want? Or I noticed that you're very big on innovation. Can you elaborate on that? Like how y'all are establishing that connection?
Well, when you say the client that we service or our temps?
The clients that you service.
Yeah. The clients that we service. Okay. Well,
so yeah. We send someone to you. How is the process? Or like, since it says that you guys are focused really on like listening and really getting to know the individuals, like how do you guys have any specific strategies on how y'all do that, or any ways that you got, or is it just absorbing what they're saying and then giving them what they're requesting?
Well, I'm still trying to make sure. I mean, like say for example, you send us a temp, right? And we'll have that sit down. I like to. This is my process as far as when I meet them. Of course, I want to assure them that I want them to be as open as possible, because they can share with me, only because different characteristics of a person will tell me if they're going to work with a certain client or not, because every client is different. Just because I treat a client, a certain way may not work. A temp may not work with a client, because personalities go a long way. You know what I mean? If someone that takes direction very well, or someone is going to give some kind of pushback. And by talking to the temp, you can pretty much kind of tell, if you're listening. You ask certain questions, like what would you do in this certain, situation? How would you react to it, kind of thing. And then also, I also like to ask them about their past work history, say if they've left. Okay, so what was the reason behind that, And, I try to kind of get a little bit of a bigger picture as to why. Because, nowadays you see so many resumes and they're hoppers. That's a trend right now. And that's something that I also have to sell my client, because it's like, well, what are they doing? Why are they jumping all over the place? Well, that's just the trend that you're going to see now.
It feels like a lot of people now are having like side hustles and stuff like that. They're working stuff just real short, just trying to get
right.
Exactly. Their goal, whatever their goal may be.
But yeah. I feel like Renhill and Workforce has the same mentality of careers, longevity.
Yeah, I mean, and that would be my ultimate goal. It's like, because you have your good temps and you have your bad temps, and it's like I always tell my temp, if I'm calling you and offering you a job that's paying you $14 an hour, and you turn it down, what makes you think I'm going to call you for maybe something would be $11 or $12 an hour? If you can't show up for me for $14.50, okay, well that's going to kind of nick you on my list of calling just to see if there's something at $12 an hour. So all that is, takes into consideration is for future employment. And a lot of the times these temps don't understand that, and it's like, you have to help me trust you. You know what I mean? If you help me trust you, trust me, if your assignment finishes or it ends or whatever the case may be, I will be the first one to call you. It's like, just keep giving me a reason to want to call you. Don't give me that one reason to stop calling you.
So we're hearing some of those characteristics we were talking about earlier. We were kind of racking our brain a little bit, trying to figure out what is considered a good candidate for y'all. We've been chatting a little bit, and I've been hearing kind of the same words. Like sometimes you have your hit or miss, you're good and you're bad. Some people may fit, may don't fit. Yeah.
Case by case situation for sure.
Yeah, case by case for sure. But what are some of the things? Because you have the experience. You are the girl. What like bullet points would you say make like a great candidate for you? If you see these couple things, you're like, this can be easy. I got this.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I see a resume, if I see longevity on there, for me, it's like, oh, that piques my interest, especially if it's something that I'm looking for. Okay. But I also like to ask why. I mean, a lot of the times, they leave because, more money, whatever the case may be. So then, of course, oh, wait a minute. So I like you because you have a great resume, but you're telling me that you're leaving for more money. If I offer you this, are you looking to settle down or are you going to wait for more money?
Yeah. The
Those kind of things you
bigger,
have to
better
kind of look
deal.
for. Yeah. And then also, I mean, what is their ultimate goal? I mean, is this something you want to do for, like, are you looking for something in a change later on? Are you looking for something stable? There's just different things. I mean, it's like you mentioned, it's a case by case. You kind of pick up on some things, and that kind of takes you into different direction of different conversations, when you're screening them and asking them certain things. But, I like to make sure that they understand from the very beginning when they come in and apply for Renhill, that we're not a day laborer. We're looking for people that are serious and that are wanting to work, because our clients are important, just like our temps are, because if it weren't for our temps, we wouldn't have our jobs. And it's like, I always look out for my temps, because it's not for them showing up for work, our clients wouldn't be happy. I always service the client, don't get me wrong, our client being, who are trying to staff for.
Like the employers?
The employers, right, are, the clients that we staff for. But I always make it a point to make sure that my temp also feels that they're important. They are of value to Renhill. They're just not a name or a temp, especially when you start getting a little bit more personal with them, as far as if you had them on your team or that you've worked with them for about a couple months, because they'll call you for everything. They'll call you for, oh, ma'am, can I get pay stubs? Oh, ma'am, can you get me online access? Oh, ma'am, you're not just their recruiter. You become everything else once they start, once they become comfortable with you.
I can see why Workforce and Renhill have such a great partnership. Just the commitment you have to the customers, because they're our backbones. Without them, we're nothing.
I'm hearing a lot of stuff that you and I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis as well. Y'all might as well be attached to our building.
Well, the good thing about Renhill is that we do everything. We're a one-stop shop. We have here everything here: payroll, HR, recruiters. We have everything here. There's no need for, like, other agencies that I've heard, that they have to wait to the following week to get someone paid. Say if someone didn't get their hours submitted or whatnot, that's something that we can take care of. If it's a Friday and they're due, I will do everything possible to make sure that guy gets paid, because it's an error and we can fix it, and we will not make him wait. He has a family to feed, and I have a family I need to feed. I know how to, even if it's for a day, that guy will get paid. I will make sure he gets paid. If there's hours that we can verify, he will get paid that same day. So that's one thing that we always do.
You mentioned payroll. I'm just curious, how does that work? Are they issued a check, or do they get a money card?
We encourage direct deposit, because they're set up just like everywhere else. Like if you go work a 40-hour work week, every Friday they get paid.
Yeah,
very lucky that Renhill.
Yeah, like a full-time, like 80 hours.
Full-time job, and they get paid every Friday. Every Friday by the book. Every Friday they get paid, as long as they're working. It's like I tell them, as long as you're working consistently 40 hours a week, you're guaranteed a paycheck every Friday.
I like it.
Guarantees. Everyone loves a guarantee.
We're gonna go ahead and try to wrap this up a little bit, but I got two more things for you.
Okay.
So the first one is just kind of for the general population, whoever may be listening. What are your big, like, 3 industries or occupation types that you typically see doing, like, the best for y'all? Like, what are some of the occupation types that get paid the most, that have the best longevity? Overall, like, what are your go-tos when you see someone?
Well, right now, what we've been steady with is forklift operators sit down, that they can do order selecting. I'm sorry. Sheets. I'm sorry.
That's your number one?
Yeah, forklift operators. They are. It's hard to find someone that's got true experience. A lot of our clients are looking for are looking for that can just go on and start operating a forklift right then. They just don't have the luxury to train, so they want people with at least a year experience, and they do pay very well. And a lot of those do temp to hire. And then once they meet their hours, they do kind of just carry them over with no issues whatsoever. They just start on their payroll and they're good to go once they've met their hours. Because, it's a contract, so they have to meet certain hours.
Forklift operator, killing it. What's your number two?
Sheet metal fabricators with HVAC experience. Sheet metal, yes. Okay. Now that's a toughie right now that we've been trying to work on. That's been a little bit of a struggle.
I think that would take a lot of skills. HVAC and sheet metal.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can't. It's either or. It's hard finding them together. I mean, they're there, but they're already working, kind of thing, or they're just not here locally where they can come in and do the work. But we're still working it. That's one that's still open, and they do need quite a few guys. But we've been fortunate to get one started last week. So that was it.
All right, so you're number three.
And a lot of general laborers.
General laborers, okay, that makes sense.
Laborers, I mean, we have different shifts. We have first, second, and third. We have refrigerated warehouses. We have sanitation, recycling. I mean, there's work. It's like I tell these guys sometimes when they come in and they want pay stubs to go, I guess I shouldn't say anything, but, to file unemployment. And I'm like,
yeah. No, it's a real thing right now. Like,
yeah, I'm like, there's work. Come on, it's not like, I mean, the opportunities are there. I said, you want work? Let's start. You could get to start tomorrow. Oh, well, can I just get my pay stubs?
Exactly. There's your top three: your forklift operator, your sheet metal with HVAC, and your general laborers.
Definitely.
Three options.
Yeah. If anyone's interested, come in. Let us know. We're gonna be blasting this out. Hopefully we get some people who'll be like, wait a minute, I have both of those skills. I'm trying to find work.
I know, and there's plenty. And we're struggling right now. I mean, we just can't get enough people to come through the door. So whoever's interested, I encourage
Pat, real quick, can you tell us where y'all are located?
We are our main office, because we have two different locations. We're over here located at 102 Ria Vista. It's over here off of 410 in San Pedro by North Star. And then we have our Southside location. Oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed. I'm not sure. It's 3302 Southwest Military Drive. That's the other location that we do have out at that area. So we do have two different areas that people can go and apply. Call. I mean, they can also call. We can give them more information. That's another option, just to get
the number off the top of your head. I don't mean to stump you. If you don't.
Oh, no. It's a 210-828-0508.
We'll go ahead and get that stuff, and we'll put it, like, whatever medias we put it on. If they have a bio section, we'll be sure to put it up there. Okay. If you guys are okay with that.
Oh, that's not
just like where you guys are located, contact information. I know that we, coming into the workforce center too, we work with y'all very well. So anything that we have, we will push through. So again, anyone listening, if you guys need any assistance of any kind or any support, come to Workforce. We work with Renhill. We'll do our best to move them their way as well. One last thing before we wrap up real quick. Do you have any questions for us? We're going to flip the table. We're going to spin this table around a little bit. So you got any interview questions, or you got anything for us on the Workforce side that you are curious about or anything like that? I know that whoever y'all are in contact with here, I know that they keep y'all up to date on everything.
Well, no, yeah, they do for the most part, especially with our sales rep, Randy, because that's who they mainly communicate with, is our other guy, Randy. But for the most part, he's real good about sharing the information. Well, let me see. I'm a little. So you said this is your first podcast, right?
This is the first interview. Yeah, this is the first guest section. We've done other episodes, but it's just mainly me and Victor just chatting, just talking about Workforce in San Antonio and the community and everything like that.
But we've never had anyone ask us questions.
Yeah, usually I'm just asking him questions.
So how do you guys like it so far? I mean, I hope it's a great experience.
It's interesting. It's fun.
Workforce or the podcast?
Well, the Workforce, you're fairly new, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, Victor, go ahead and let her know about you first.
I've been here for I've been with the Workforce for about a year and a half. I actually found this job on workintexas.com. So
he came through the system. He was one of those guys who started coming through the front door and ended up working here.
Wow, that's awesome.
They couldn't get rid of me.
No,
they couldn't get rid of me. They wanted to, but
he never left. We had to just be like, all right, well, if you're gonna hang out here, we can at least pay you.
Might as well.
Yeah, might as well. Might as well. I've been working for Workforce in a lot of different ways for a little while, since about late 2016, early 2017. I worked for a contractor called C2 for a while, traveling around the state and over to Florida and stuff like that, working on special projects.
Wow.
Eventually, San Antonio scooped me up. They wanted me to come, work here. I did some data work for a while, and then I got moved up to a supervisor, and I'm super fortunate.
So how are you liking San Antonio?
San Antonio it's different. Coming from outside of San Antonio, I lived in Austin. There's music everywhere. There's just stuff going on all over the place. It seems a lot more relaxed here. Like, I don't have to be running around doing 5 different things because I'm going to miss them if they're not there. Like, I just get to relax in San Antonio. Just kind of bring the energy down a little bit.
You get to meet people like Pat. So.
Exactly.
There you go. And I'm calm actually right now. So
calm, relax. When it comes to the podcast, so Victor and I have been talking about this for a while. Workforce, as much as we try and do good in the community, we tend to be a little bit behind when it comes to innovation and technology. And we want to do our best to try and raise that level up. The more stuff we have, the more resources we get out there, the better we can help the San Antonio community. And we figured, since we're both here, and we'll go to lunch or we'll hang out and we'll just talk for however long about workforce stuff.
Now we're just recording it.
Why not record it?
Well, that's true. That's true. And it's very helpful, especially with things going on, right now. This is the thing, this is the way to go about it.
For sure.
And I just had my first idea, get on Facebook and post our stuff. I think it was last week. And I was like so nervous about it myself. And I'm like, you know what? It's got to get done. That's the only way to get the word out there.
For
and
sure.
it turned out to be actually a good thing for us.
You're great on camera. You're better than we are.
Renhill podcasting.
Renhill podcast.
Well, maybe I'll start my own. You never know.
There we go.
Thank you for the encouragement, though.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on with us. Thank you very much for talking. Pat Hernandez from Renhill Staffing. Feel free to come by the Workforce Center. We'll connect you. We'll have contact information as well underneath. Thank you. Is there any last words you want to say before we take off?
No, just thank you guys. Appreciate the time and taking our Renhill on into your podcast. It was great. I appreciate a great experience. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys' time.
Thank you so much.
All right. Be safe. Thank you.
Thank you. With that being said, another great episode, man. Another one. We appreciate all y'all being here. If you guys need anything, please let us know. We want to do our best to give you guys information, but we're here to help grow your future. We're here to help move you forward. And working with people like Renhill, we're going to do our best to do that. So feel free to swing by. Feel free to contact us. If we're still closed for COVID, other than that, though, we're here to help. Just let us know. You got anything last things to say? Huh?
We're good.
Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, y'all.